It's Brandon from Screen Love Affair, and today I'm here to talk about Exit 8. Now, I feel like this movie is a trip, a visual experience, a liminal horror nightmare, and I really want to talk about it spoiler-free. Found the movie to be very fascinating in the sense that this is a great liminal horror genre movie. If you like scary stories to tell in the dark, the book, not the movie, this is great. If you love anything that, like, say, Hunter and Isaiah would cover on Creepcast, this is great. To summarize it and give my review right away, I want to say I really liked the movie. On a Hardometer scale, I liked this movie a lot. I didn't quite love it, and I definitely didn't find it to be bad or mid, but it is a very likable movie. If you're looking for an appetizer for the back rooms, what a perfect film this is. Even though the movie is like a Japanese horror movie and there's definitely a lot of Eastern influence in it, it is so well told and visualized. From a technical standpoint, this is so much stronger than a movie like Iron Lung. Yes, it is one character in one location dealing with similar things, but they do add a few more characters and they definitely add a little bit more meat and substance. I would say
Genki Kawamura
is a phenomenal director in the sense where he's able to visualize this horror story, adapting it again from the game Exit 8. I think it's a very good adaptation. It's a indie horror game turned into a feature-length movie, and a huge part of that is just having a good directorial flair for what's good to focus on. How do you spice things up? How do you change the format just enough to make you keep paying attention and excited visually, at least? Speaking of the video game, the only exposure I had to Exit 8 was, honest to God, it was a speedrunner doing the record for speedrunning the game. When we critiqued Iron Lung, Shay, who's a lot more critical than I would say, he said, if you can beat the game in 50 minutes, why is the movie 2 hours long? In this case, the game can be beat in like a minute, like under 2 minutes. But here we are watching and experiencing a good tight 90-minute horror movie. And it never felt like it really dragged that hard or did too much in that sense. So I really appreciated that. Obviously, our main character is not a pro gamer speedrunning his purgatory-esque hell. And it was really fascinating to kind of see how the character interacts with the world when he realizes the world is what it is, and how he's got to kind of overcome and follow the rules and, again, fit the framework. We always talk about horror movies being good because they give you enough lore to make you think about how you would handle it. And I think this movie is a great example of that. Even when we talk about Final Destination or a movie like Whistle, which I worked on, you want to give enough lore to make the audience feel like they can live in and or escape the traps the movie sets. I think the movie's effective in that sense. I thought it was super interesting that the first, I would say almost 10 minutes of the movie was like a first-person POV, thinking of movies like Hardcore Henry. It's in that vein of watching stuff through a character's eyes. It's a POV video game. I thought that was really strong. I fully bought it and believed this was going to be a POV movie the entire runtime. But thankfully, it's not a total POV movie. After the opening and kind of setting the tone, it does shift into like a more traditional movie. Cinematography wise, they do so many oneers. They call it a oneer because it's like one take, one long extended camera panning left and right, following tracking shot. And it does have segments of the movie where it is just a big oneer. And I thought that was visually impressive. Any movie that makes you think, how did they make this, is good. If you make a movie where I'm wondering how they made it, what the behind the scenes look like, I think it's intriguing enough to say you liked it. I saw this with a group of friends, a bunch of set dressers, people who make movie sets look lived in and real. I was just blown away that there was scenes where you walk down a hallway in a oneer where they don't obviously cut and show a new shot. And then next thing you know, there's dozens of ceiling lights or changing posters in the background or creepy visuals. I just kept thinking, how did they dress the movie to match the vibe and the tone that matched the video game? This movie is a Toho movie. The same people that do Godzilla. The last Toho movie I saw that wasn't Godzilla was the movie Sham. And I really dug that movie because it was such a personal story with phenomenal Japanese actors. But at the same time, I think there's a trope almost when it comes to Toho or Japanese cinema. In Western cinema, you get like a Nick Cage who's going crazy doing all this stuff. And I feel like it's almost expected when watching some Japanese movies that the main character breaks down, convulses, hyperventilates. So there are scenes where they let the scene breathe and the character is just having a moment with themselves, freaking the hell out. And it was enjoyable seeing our protagonist struggle. But then I'm so grateful that even though it was a limited movie or like a bottle movie, one setting, minimal actors, they shift perspectives to some other characters that aren't quite expected, and you get to learn more of the lore, or at least you get some sort of false sense of security or expectation. Again, try not to give anything away. And the movie somehow mildly subverts that and keeps you in this world of liminal horror. So long story short, I would say this is a interesting, unique foreign film. And if you're like a cinephile and you want something different that's not like the Super Mario movie, go check this out today. On that note, this is a bit of a tangent, but basically Cineplex double booked the seats of their movie. Dozens of people purchased tickets through Cineplex. At least 5 people came up saying like, we have your seats booked, and our seats were already booked. We showed them the Cineplex app, convincing them that we did book these tickets online. And they showed us some sort of PDF and an email being like, we also booked your seats. And there was multiple little arguments and issues in the theater where people were like being like, I'm here first. I bought the tickets on the Cineplex app. Get bent. And I kind of agree with them. Yeah, if you care about a movie, show up on time. When you're showing up at 7:20 for the 7:15 movie and there's already people who've been sitting there for 15 minutes waiting for the movie to start, they deserve your seat more. Sorry, dude. That being said, the girlies behind us, same thing happened. They booked their seats, their tickets. Somebody came up and they were very argumentative. At first, I was like, these women get it. They're cinephiles. They love seeing international movies. That's sick. But then throughout the rest of the movie, this group was like the horsemen of the apocalypse. You know, one was pestilence, constantly coughing and choking and just making a ton of gross sounds. One was constantly whispering what was going on in the movie. It's like, I get it. You played the video game. You're a bigger fan than I, but like, shut the heck up. Something scary happens and like a shitty YouTuber reacts video, they're like, oh my God, that happened because, or oh, wasn't that crazy? Yo, fam, that was crazy. And it drove me nuts. I couldn't stand it. So eventually at one point I did a hard pivot, looked behind me, and I looked at them and I was like, guys, do you mind just stop talking for like 20 minutes, please, for the love of God? And they did. So that was nice. Small win for me. Thanks for watching. I'm Brandon from Screen Love Affair, and we hope you like this little mini review, spoiler free. Hope to have a longer format spoiler discussion because, man, this movie had a lot of twists and turns, and I would love to discuss it further.